The destruction of the mission Santa Cruz de San Saba, which was located close to what is now Menard, Texas, was one particularly well-recorded occurrence. It was once referred to as the Lost Mission of Texas because, until the early 1990s, no one knew where it was located exactly. How did the Battle of the San Saba mission start? What happened to the Comanche warriors? The founding of Mission Santa Cruz de San Saba in 1757 was prompted by several competing interests. In a peace deal with the Spanish, the Lipan Apache, who had frequently invaded the missions to the south of what is now San Antonio, purportedly asked for a mission. Practically, the Comanche Tijas, Tonkawas, and Bidays were the foes the Lipan Apache were looking to protect themselves from. Officials from Spain were glad to pursue peace and create a presence in a region they believed the French may soon annex. 3 missions were established along the Rio San Saba by missionaries who offered their services, accompanied by 100 soldiers. Don Pedro de Terreros, the proprietor of the mine, volunteered to provide funding for up to 20 missions over 3 years to appease the local Apache and other Plains tribes. Father Superior of those missions was Fray Alonso Giraldo de Terreros, his relative. In 1757, the Spaniards founded the town, and the priests, concerned about earlier disputes and harassment between troops and native people, chose a place for the mission that was quite remote from the Presidio San Saba. Finally, the mission was situated on the other side of the San Xavier River, 4 miles from the Presidio. Father Terreros and his missionaries arrived in San Antonio in 1756. They were accompanied by 9 Tlaxcalans who would assist in teaching catechism to mission novices. Strangely, no natives were there to greet the missionaries when they got to San Saba. They soon gathered 3,000 warriors from the Lipan Apache tribe, who had no interest in missions or missionaries, through messengers. A warring group traveling north to confront their enemy was among them, as were other bands. Despite several of them making promises to return, none of them were eager or willing to stay at the mission. Several of the missionaries gave up on their task out of disappointment and went back to San Antonio. Colonel Diego Ortiz Parilla noted in 1758 that despite having green pastures and creeks, the area was ideal for agriculture. The Apaches flatly refused to settle at the mission, showing that they were disappointed by the new Presidio's might. The entire business was positioned just on the border of the Comanche area, acting as bait. More than 1,500 members of the Comanche, Tijas, Tonkawas, Bidays, and other northern Texas tribes encircled the mission on March 16, 1758, in search of Apache. Even though the attackers were primarily looking for Lipan Apache, 2 priests, 4 soldiers, and 2 mission residents perished in the looting and burning of the mission buildings. The Comanche saw it as a significant triumph over longtime adversaries, but the Spanish saw it as a bloodbath. With the help of Tlaxcalan and Apache allies, over 600 Spanish soldiers from as far away as San Luis Potos, villages in Coahuila and Sierra Gorda conducted a punitive operation against the northern groups in 1759, killing 55 warriors and capturing 150 others. Even though the events at Mission Santa Cruz de San Saba were well documented and the Lipan Apache had preserved their memories of them in oral traditions, San Saba's location was unknown for the majority of the 20th century and was the focus of extensive searches. The majority of the mission's wattle and daub and wood temporary shelters were destroyed by fire during the Indian invasion in 1758. What is the current state of Mission Santa Cruz de Saba? The Presidio San Saba, on the other hand, was constructed in stone in 1761, signaling to French and American indigenous groups that the Spanish planned to remain. The Presidio only existed until 1769, when it was finally abandoned to the Comanche and their allies, along with the 130-mile stretch of land heading to San Antonio. For the 1936 Texas Centennial, a WPA effort reconstructed a part of the fort, which is now accessible to the public. Years of investigation and survey led to the rediscovery of Mission Santa Cruz de San Saba. After several failed searches, the mission location was finally located in a lucerne field east of Menard in 1993. The archaeologists discovered soil stains left behind by the wooden poles and posts used to construct the mission throughout numerous field seasons. They discovered relics like a family heirloom brass sundial dating to 1580. The rediscovery and excavations marked the end of years of investigation and several generations of scholars. Mission Santa Cruz de Saba serves as a reminder of the intricate and occasionally violent relationships that existed between American Indian tribes and the Spanish, as well as an example of how the Lipan Apache skillfully employed missions and alliances with the Spanish. The Texas Centennial Marker is located alongside a field of lucerne on the roadway. The location is still marked by a historical marker plaque, but has no obvious structures. Presidio San Saba, also known as the site of Presidio San Luis de las Amarillas, is currently listed on the National Register of Historic Places. Do you think the Battle of San Saba mission started with the arrival of Father Toreros and his missionaries? Have you ever heard about such similar events? Let us know in the comments.